Hey guys, Rob Duncan here. Greetings from Southeast Asia. Wanted to give a quick highlight overview of my ethnographic interview. I'm going to be a little circumspect with some of the names and places, just because we're in a closed country where we are. Ethnographic interviews of the M people. They are a majority population in a country that's just north of Singapore. I'll nail that down for you. And let's go there. So Muslim people. One little interesting fact, a good friend of ours here who's an attorney and deals a lot with sort of issues relating to religion around here, as well as doing some other business law and stuff like that. But the Constitution in our country is actually one of the only constitutions where it specifically defines a race of people by naming their religion. And so there are people here by law, by Constitution, are the people of the land. They speak the language, and they are Muslim, and they have to be. They cannot convert, they cannot change, and so by law it is also illegal to evangelize them, and they don't have the ability to convert. So that's just kind of a little bit about the context that we're in. Further to add to that, the country here was originally was a British colony at one point, and in some ways the British were pretty good colonists in that they gave in that they delineated the practices and the work, and they divided it up to keep the peace and to make people happy. So they gave the majority population control of the government, and then they gave the Chinese descended people a control of the economy. Well, that kind of kept people happy, and it follows through to this day. And so what we're looking at here is a situation where the Chinese descended people, the Chinese residents of the country, still control 80–90% of the economy. However, the majority of people control the government. So you have people with a lot of wealth who don't have any political power or significant political power. They have some. And then you have people who are, as a whole, less well-off, less advanced socioeconomically, much more depressed, but they have the political power, and so they can control a lot of things. As you can probably guess, that leads to some conflicts, a lot of animosity between the races. Just to give you an idea, if you are of the majority people, you get all the spots in the universities. So the big universities in the country, those slots almost all go to the majority population. If you are of Chinese descent, for example, a handful of slots only go to those. You have to really pay to go to your universities, and you're going to a private university you have to pay for. A lot of animosity. You want to buy a new house, majority population gets a 6% discount on the house. The other people, Chinese descent folks, they'll pay 100% for that house. Even though they may be fourth, fifth generation people who live in this country, they're citizens, but just completely different. It's sort of reverse affirmative action, if you will. In this case, instead of having a minority people being helped out for a time period to gain a more significant advantage, what we have is we have the majority population that is dominant getting the help from the government, and just so they can remain in authority and in control. It's a big fear that if the other, or the political rhetoric we're hearing right now, is that if the other party came into being, which is predominantly the Chinese, which also has Buddhist, Christian, atheist beliefs in there, that Islam will be taken down. And so it's being couched as a battle of Islam versus non-Islam in the country right now. So that's kind of interesting. My interview was fun. I had a great time interviewing my language tutor, who's a coach of mine, he's an MBB, so that's really kind of cool. He's one of the few. We don't know how many believers there are in this country. Estimates anywhere from as low as 200 out of 17, 18, 19 million to up to a couple 100,000. Obviously, the numbers are really inaccurate, and we just don't know. Biggest thing wrestling with here is just seeing the difference between the urban and the rural. Trying to get a handle on that and understand that a little bit more. We're in a highly urban context, so life tends to be a little bit more Western as far as people's ideas, the way they do life, the way they interact, the relationships between male, female, relationships, dating, economics, all those sort of things play into it. And so the culture tends to be much more Western when it comes to that. So they're shedding some of those very traditional beliefs and taking on Western ideals as far as that goes. Whether that's good or bad, we don't know. And then I think just the pace of change, and this is a change, is really changing fast, just because it is such a highly urban area and where access to information. And then lastly, just the weaving of culture and religion. To be of this culture is to be Muslim. To be Muslim is to be of this culture. There is no delineation between the two. And so you have people that they may not really even believe in the religious side of things, but they don't have a choice as to what they believe. It's who they are. That's the people they're with. And so changing religions and coming to faith is a big, big deal because it's a repudiation of not just your faith beliefs, but your culture as a whole. And that's what makes it so difficult here. But challenging place, fun place to live, great people. So please continue to lift us up. Thanks, guys. I hope you had a great semester. Take care.